of Aviation and Aerospace Development has unveiled plans for Nigeria's first ever international air show scheduled to take place in Lagos, the country's commercial hub. He announced that the event, organized in collaboration with the private sector, will attract global investors and boost local tourism. Ohunayo reports.
Nigeria will join the list of major global cities like London, New York, Dubai and Toronto, hosting its inaugural aviation air show.
Increase the skill set
in what he calls a landmark achievement, Minister Festus Keyamo expressed confidence in Nigeria's potential to reshape Africa's aviation landscape. He says Nigeria's aviation sector is already on the path to becoming globally competitive.
It is intended to project Nigeria as the place where the next big things will happen in aviation in Africa. The significant rise in the compliance index, Nigeria's compliance index globally in terms of compliance with the Cape Town Convention, and that has opened up so many windows of opportunities for our local operators in Nigeria.
The minister outlined key objectives for the air show, including strengthening the African Continental Free Trade Area and unlocking new potentials through the single African air transport market. Questions about the infrastructure readiness of the proposed venue were addressed, with assurances given.
We have done a lot of background work in the last 1 year before this announcement. You know, for instance, we have done drafts of agreements back and forth, sent the draft to the Ministry of Justice. We looked at different models of the collaboration. After that, we have also gone to physically look at infrastructure at the Lagos airports. We have looked at the aprons, how big the aprons are, and how many airplanes they can take.
A lot of the policies that are driven within the sector, he's worked on it tirelessly. He talked about the IDERA, he talked about the Cape Town Convention. Never in years have we had it better in the industry with somebody like the Honorable Minister.
The 3-day event, scheduled for the first quarter of next year, will feature more than 150 aviation companies from around the world. As said by the minister, Nigeria's first ever international air show promises not just to be a spectacle in Lagos State, but a turning point, one that could redefine the nation's place in global aviation. Ohunayo, TVC News, Abuja.
Well, joining me to talk more about these new opportunities is the General Secretary of Aviation Roundtable, who is also an aviation analyst, Mr. Ohunayo. Thank you so much for joining us at this point to have this discussion. Now, let's go straight to talking about the impact of this air show on the Nigerian economy. How do you think this will contribute to its economic growth and development?
Thank you, and good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. I think it's a good one. It's the first ever in Nigeria, and I think I would give kudos to the Honorable Minister and the Presidency for supporting this novel aviation show. Well, I never expected it, and though the first time I heard it, I was looking, why Lagos? Because oftentimes when you look at other cities where these shows are held, they're taken away from their busy airports. But I have noticed that for now, it's only Lagos that has a dual runway, and because of that dual runway, you will need to ensure that you don't have any flight disturbance, and your scheduled flights at all the international operations can go on pari passu with the air show. So, the virtue of this event, and that's where we are now.
Oh, good. All right. So I would like you to go back to the question I asked earlier. We missed a huge part of what you said. So please, can you reiterate what you meant by when you talked about the fact that Lagos is the only place that has a dual runway?
Yeah, I mean, with the dual runway, or the international operations, domestic operations will still be going on as the air show is on. So now I see the advantage of coming to Lagos because of the runway and the space that is needed. Again, between now and when the show will come up, there will be a lot of development, there will be a lot of revamping of the air side, whereby most of the the aircraft will be placed for visitors to look at. So they will have to improve the infrastructure there, and that's also a good one for the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. It's an opportunity to develop the infrastructure at the airport, and generally, right, it's a good one for the economy, coming for the first time to the West African sub-region. So we all look forward to it. We look forward to that. The benefits are not just for those that will come and advertise, come up and exhibit their products, but it's the interaction with the Nigerian aviation segment and other visitors from the sub-region who would use that opportunity to network, and also probably small companies probably now have domiciled themselves in Nigeria, and that's a good benefit for us. And that will also help improve aviation's contribution to the GDP.
All right, so you talked earlier about infrastructure upgrades. Now, what do you think should be implemented? What sort of upgrades should be implemented to have a successful air show?
Well, the minister, like I said yesterday, it's working with the team. I think they need to involve the Lagos State government in providing not because the show does not only happen at the airport, but it starts from the moment they enter the country, as they go to the hotels, as they go around the state. Then there's a need to showcase Lagos, to show that Lagos is safe and Nigeria is safe by virtue of what they see in Lagos. So there must be that partnership between the federal government and the state government. Now, for the infrastructure side, we're looking at power, communication, the ability to also ensure that transactions made during that period are remitted, or not like what we have when you hear that there's a alert is hanging or is vast. So many need to be. So many of the present working tools, e-business should all be top notch, so that show can go successfully. But I am quite sure that it's the initiative. It's a beauty to see the Mr. come with this new initiative. And it's very commendable, and I think Nigerian aviation would benefit more.
Will this air show present for both local and international stakeholders?
Well, for the local stakeholders, I said that before. It's an opportunity to see products, equipment compared to the sources you have in the past, and look at you now have to wait and see which are the best options for you now. Now, people that are coming all the way to West Africa are definitely coming here to target the Nigerian market, to give a better product, to give a better facility, to give better offer than what is out there. That's why they're going to be coming down, and they're not only targeting Nigeria, they're targeting West Africa. So we might find out that most of our players will now become the major distributor to move it beyond. Once it gets to West Africa, to move it beyond Lagos to other countries within the West African countries, and that's a big plus. Again, if you look at the present exchange rate issues, now these people are coming in now. You're not taking that. There's probably that you can even negotiate to have payment in naira, which is also at an advantage to the Nigerian companies. But by and large, let us work towards having a successful air show. Let us see how Nigerian players can participate. Let us see how we can convince these organizations to go into our export processing zone and set up companies and similar structures that produce those things. So they can be produced within Nigeria and with little tax and stress on them, and that would be a benefit. But the bottom line for me is, apart from those people coming in, is the potential of improving tourism and driving tourism to Nigeria itself.
All right, so let's talk about lessons that can be learned. Now, this is holding in Lagos State, and like you have rightly mentioned, Lagos has a dual runway. Lagos is quite sophisticated. That's because successive governments in Lagos have had a plan for Lagos State and have made it so that tourism is key here, and everyone will want to come to Lagos. What can other states learn from the example of Lagos, seeing that the first aviation air show is coming into Lagos?
Please do not stress the other states. The advantage that Lagos
it's a huge advantage.
The dual runway was not built by Lagos, it was built by the federal government. It's been there. The apron space, and then you have Ibadan Airport, which is closer to Lagos, that some aircraft can go and land. You also have one in Shagamu now.
But do they have the infrastructure that Lagos presents? Do they have the potential, the tourism potentials, the security landscape and all of that Lagos presents?
The tourism and the potentials of getting returns on your investment. We must appreciate that Lagos is number one, and that's not taking it away from it. But then when you look at the infrastructure in place, Lagos is just about the only place that can handle such show. Considering that if you look at apart from the runway, you look at the apron space, you're looking at the other land or the airside spaces that are available underutilized at the moment that will not be utilized, and that will reduce the insecurity that we notice around the airside of the airport. Because now we are expected to utilize most of the airside now for this show, and that exposes that area. Moreover, remember the Lagos government is also working with the federal government to build a road around the Shasha and the airport fence, and also put some other facilities there. So I think with this air show now, that's also can be fast-tracked and to ensure that we have a good scenery within the airport environment.
So in all of this now, do we envisage partnerships between Nigerian investors and their foreign counterparts, or the big players and the small players, so to say?
Definitely, that's not negotiable. That will come in. I'm looking beyond just the investors. I'm looking at the investors, asking the Nigerian companies here to also represent them within the sub-region, and that's also helped. I'm looking at a position by when they come in, these investors will look at all their government representatives here and see whether they can even trade with us in Naira, and while all other mode of payment can be accepted, rather than other mode of payment can be looked at rather than just being paying in dollars. So I think when they come in and they're able to discuss, they have the embassy officials available. It brings a smooth negotiation for the business and companies that will be available, and I expect better returns. And most importantly, during those shows, the good rates are always offered. Those rates, but they might be time bound, but you have good rates rather than what you have out there. And I think our investors, Nigerian aviation players, would participate and would benefit from it.
Okay, so this seems to be a collaboration between the federal government and private sector initiatives, right? A private initiative here. So what can other investors in Nigeria, how can they collaborate with the federal government to ensure that this becomes a success and they milk out the best from this?
An international air show is a good project, and like I said before, there's a private organization already working with the Honorable Minister on this. So with the private organization already working, other aviation players will naturally key in. Everybody's out for business. Everybody wants a business that wants opportunities and offers that make their business grow. So if an additional air show is coming, people are bringing equipment, services right to your doorstep rather than running to the internet or traveling outside there. They are bringing right to your doorstep. You have to have a review to look at it, to discuss directly with you. Definitely, I doubt if there will be opposition from the industry. And I can tell you, there will not be any opposition from the industry. It's not as if they are considering anything or they are taking any government property and giving it to the private. We are only showing the world the qualities of the Nigerian, the qualities and strength of the Nigerian aviation industry, and how we can build and expand on it. That's what the entire issue is all about.
Okay, how strong is the Nigerian aviation industry?
I didn't get that question.
How strong is the Nigerian aviation industry?
I don't know what you mean by strong. The industry is operating. We have domestic flights. We have almost the largest amount of the highest number of domestic airlines, almost about second or third in Africa with domestic airlines. So when it comes to the equipment, we might not match with airlines in Ethiopia, Egypt. But then we have a vibrant domestic market. What is left is how to transmit this into a strong international brand, and that is Airpeace has started. We're looking at one or two more airlines to join and see whether this will attract investors and international airlines to join and partner with the LSO to see more expansion.
All right. So the federal government on Wednesday engaged key stakeholders in the aviation sector to address challenges related to aircraft insurance, lease and demands on financing. Is this call coming at the right time?
I don't let us get mixed this up. I think it's not a call per se. It's how to say it's how to. There's been this issue between the NICOM, that's insurance companies, and the airlines over insurance of leased aircraft. And this is very clear. When you use an aircraft, it comes with the word ACNI, aircraft crew maintenance and insurance, and that is the insurance that the Nigerian insurance company says, look, we are Nigerian companies, and there is a Nigerian content law saying that this should come to insurance companies. So, and I think that is what they're trying to. They are working out to see how well if you want to be a player in the aviation insurance companies, you also need to own some companies, some of these organizations. We don't manufacture aircraft in Nigeria. We don't even assemble an aircraft. So when you go for companies that have the aircraft, they naturally have the insurance company. So is that battle now to say, okay, yes, you have an insurance company. We also have the Nigerian content law that restricts us from asks us to take our Nigerian insurance. So I think that is what they're trying to close that gap. And I think it's just this started about 34 years now that they've been on it, and see how it can be closed. And I think the message has now been the person that has is bringing all players into it. Okay, let us discuss this. Let us find a way forward. And like they said, after that meeting, they're supposed to meet with the foreign international partners so that they, and this can be addressed.
All right, of course, General Secretary of Aviation Roundtable, also an aviation analyst, Mr. Ohunayo. Thank you so much for talking to us. It was quite insightful hearing your thoughts on this development. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll move on to Asian stocks, which rose broadly today, tracking Wall Street's overnight rise